Welcome to today's training, where you'll learn how to move away from single sessions, hourly rates, and low-price packages. I'll share how you can create premium-priced offers and charge between $2,500 and $25,000 per client with better client results, more time in your schedule, more money, and the freedom to do what's most important to you. You may want to grab a pen and paper because this training is full of great information that you can begin to take action on today. Here's something to consider. The hypnotherapy business model is outdated and broken. Somewhere along the line, it was widely accepted by hypnotherapists that charging low fees for single sessions or low-price packages is just the way things are done, that there isn't another way. We bought into the belief that we were supposed to charge what therapists charge, and we modeled our businesses after theirs. But therapists aren't hypnotherapists, and they rarely access the subconscious mind in a meaningful way. But hypnotherapists are different, and our business model and pricing needs to reflect the incredible transformation we routinely provide our clients when all else has failed. We need to come together and elevate the industry to reflect the real value of hypnotherapy and charge accordingly. With this in mind, I'll share the roadmap on how you can work towards a premium price business model to charge between $2,500 and $25,000 per client. And along the way, I'll share actionable steps you can take now, and we'll elevate the industry together. Hi, I'm Amanette Burgueño. I specialize in helping hypnotherapists break free from low-priced one-on-one sessions or package models, and I'm hell-bent on changing the industry, one hypnotherapist at a time. I see us all moving to a premium business model as a long overdue movement, and I've made it my mission to help as many people as possible. When I made the decision to transition to a more exclusive hypnotherapy practice, it was a game changer for me. I found myself with the freedom to enjoy more time with my loved ones, pursue personal passions, and even take up acting. It was a stark contrast to the demanding pace I once experienced. I really understand how hard it can be to build a business that supports a balanced life. Because in the past, I was working with 27 clients per week, doing very intense healing work through hypnotherapy, specializing in trauma. I was creating my online course. I was managing my Facebook group with 100,000 members at the time. I was marketing my business with landing pages, funnels, writing copy, videos, Facebook Lives, emails, and paid ads. I was putting out endless content, and it wasn't paying off. I was revamping my website. Again, I was doing all the administrative tasks, and I was taking online courses to continue to grow my business. I was burned out and overwhelmed. Plus, I was caring for my 2 adult children, who I would do anything for, who've struggled with disability their entire lives. I didn't have clean clothes, and I was longing for balance in my life. But when I shifted to a premium business model, everything opened up for me, and my clients got even better results. That's what I would love to see happen for you as well. But it needs to be at the right time in your career. Let me explain. In the coaching industry, it's widely taught that anyone can charge premium prices, that it's a matter of mindset or self-worth. But that's not true. And in order to start charging premium prices, you need to uncouple your self-worth from the value of your services and skills. Then you need to determine where you are on your career path and become the best hypnotherapist you can be, even if you've been at this for a while. You must start there first and foremost because your clients are depending on you whether you charge a little or a lot. There are too many well-meaning hypnotherapists who jump the gun and want to charge more right away before they have the necessary skills or client results to warrant price increases. They are primarily using direct suggestion techniques and haven't yet advanced their skill set. They don't know how to work with more complex issues and haven't worked with enough issues yet to fully support a client when things come forward in their session work. But you don't want to undercharge either, even if you're new. There are many newer hypnotherapists who are charging as little as $100 per session. Or worse, there are experienced hypnotherapists who are charging these beginner prices. So even if you're newer, you still want to charge a healthy fee for your sessions as you strengthen your skills. Before I cover session pricing, as a hypnotherapist, it's helpful to understand the different types of hypnotherapy, including their pros and cons. And even if you're a veteran, for the sake of us all being on the same page, I'm covering this in this training because advancing your skills allows you to charge premium prices. In addition, I'll be covering the different types of practices your clients will typically utilize before reaching out to you. The reason I'm covering this is because when you understand how these practices tend to fall short, you'll be able to help your potential client see the value of hypnotherapy versus other practices they've tried that they're automatically comparing hypnotherapy to. And I'll cover the different business pillars needed in your business so you can work your way to becoming a high-end hypnotherapist. Now, let's shift gears here and take a look at the different techniques used in hypnotherapy. This isn't all the different techniques, rather, it's the distilled down versions. And when I speak of hypnosis, I'm defining it as focused attention. There's direct suggestion hypnosis, self-hypnosis, conversational hypnosis, regression hypnosis, and spiritual hypnosis. These are the different approaches that we typically use. Let's begin with direct suggestion. This is a technique where the client will tell the hypnotist what their problems are, and the hypnotist will read a hypnosis script that addresses that specific issue, or craft suggestions that are typically the opposite of what the person is experiencing. For example, if someone is experiencing panic attacks, the hypnotist will suggest that they are calm and relaxed and that they no longer have panic attacks. The hypnotist will also use analogies, metaphors, associations, and symbolism with this type of technique to help their mind see things in a new way. The pros are that it's relaxing and some change in insight can happen. But it can be like painting over a dirty fence. When a strong rain happens, the paint washes away. Or if it is successful, the person's inner blueprint will likely seek out another way to cause them a problem. This may not happen immediately, but it's highly likely to happen eventually. So unless it's done artfully, direct suggestion isn't typically long-lasting because the suggestions are often counter to the client's inner blueprint of deeply held emotions and beliefs from their experiences and their perceptions. Next, there's self-hypnosis and conversational hypnosis. Self-hypnosis is something the client does independently, where they give themselves suggestions. And conversational hypnosis is something the hypnotist will use in a casual conversation with a client to help them shift their way of thinking or feeling. They are both similar to direct suggestion and have similar pros and cons. Then there's regression. Regression is a technique where the client's subconscious mind takes the lead and shows the hypnotist and client where the root causes of their problems are coming from, usually taking them back to their childhood to heal. The transformation can be quite profound and is typically long-lasting if done right, especially when more advanced techniques are used that don't break down the door to your client's mind. Change can happen fast with this level of work because you're addressing the past events that shape the client as a person. When this happens, your client's inner blueprint can truly receive new beliefs, and their body can let go of its stored emotional energy. So the pros of regression is that it gets to the root cause of the issues your client is dealing with. And the cons is that it's not necessarily a fun process to go through. With regression, you're typically facing your deepest, darkest, most fearful, and most uncomfortable memories. And these memories are connected to your most intense emotions. Plus, you may have protective mechanisms in place to shield yourself from this information until you're ready to face it. So even if you're a competent hypnotist, you may only be able to take a client so far with this type of work. That is, unless you try to break the door down in the session, meaning you aggressively guide your client to a time in their past that they aren't ready to re-experience yet. This can leave the client feeling unsettled and insecure, like they're trying to put toothpaste back in the tube. Now, you may be thinking that you just need to help the client establish a safe place. But the protective mechanisms can be so rigid that a safe place just doesn't cut it sometimes, and their mind won't let them work through some past experiences. Or the hypnotist uses very surface-level regression techniques. These are feel-good techniques that don't go deep enough into the issues, and the results are typically short-lived, just like painting over a dirty fence. If the hypnotist doesn't have the appropriate training and experience, the regression can be ineffective or even do more damage to a person that's already experienced a lot of trauma or hardship. They may also inadvertently lead the client, meaning they act on assumptions, use leading language, or lead the client to scenes from their past that aren't relevant for healing, which can confuse the client and the hypnotist alike. This can cause a skewed memory or a missed opportunity. And if the hypnotist isn't using advanced techniques, it can take longer, frustrate the client, or not be as effective. Now, let's look at spiritual hypnosis and the pros associated with this. This technique can help you access another part of yourself that many people say feels like your soul. It can help you overcome challenges or trauma from what appears to be past lifetimes. As a hypnotherapist, you may not be too sure about this past life thing. You can look at it like it's your client's subconscious mind using past lives as symbolism to help them understand difficult memories and issues. You can think of it as a protective mechanism that their subconscious mind employs when facing emotions that feel like it's too much for them to handle or difficult situations. Either way, spiritual regressions can help them see things in a new light. They can renew their sense of purpose and help them embrace their gifts. The challenge and the cons of spiritual hypnosis is that you can focus so much on your spiritual journey that you bypass your human experience. This can work against your client, compound their problems, and limit their personal growth. That's because the fastest path to spiritual growth is to focus on mastering being human. Another con is that spiritual hypnosis doesn't typically solve their problems long term. Frequently, I would conduct a spiritual hypnosis session for my clients, and although they were very happy with their sessions, sometime later they would often still have the problem they wanted help with, even if they worked through past life issues or connected with their higher self. So where regular regression was excellent for solving real-life problems, spiritual regression often only prolonged their problem, because even though their experiences were incredible, they were distracted from the need to solve their problem in the ordinary world. Now, I want you to stay with me here as we look at different practices your clients will have typically utilized by the time they reach out for help. But before we do, I want to say that I feel that any practice that helps someone in any way is great. So if you happen to practice anything I'm talking about, I want you to know that you are incredible because of your service to others, and I feel that we all should support each other and lift each other up. But everything has its own limitations. There's neurolinguistic programming, coaching, emotional freedom technique, energy healing, therapy, and other practices like these. Let's take a look at some of the challenges within each of these practices. First, let's look at NLP. When thinking of the subconscious mind as an iceberg, with the conscious mind being above the water and the subconscious mind being below the water, NLP dabbles at the iceberg waterline. These practices simply don't go deep enough, and I feel the techniques are just okay. There's techniques like anchoring, reframing, questioning your thought patterns, and identifying negative mental and emotional triggers and replacing them with a positive response. I had used them repeatedly in my sessions, and I just wasn't impressed. I would liken them to the limited direct suggestion technique we discussed earlier. An example of an NLP technique would be what's called an anchor. That's to connect a positive emotion with an image, word, statement, or action. But if things like this are all you're doing, that's like painting over a dirty fence. The challenge is that there's a lot of missed opportunities for more in-depth work and longer-lasting, genuine change. Moving on to coaching. This can be any type of coach, from a life coach, manifestation coach, mindset coach, empowerment coach, happiness coach, success coach, motivational coach, business coach, or insert your title here coach. There are good coaches, but there are also so many coaches who use a break-the-door-down style of coaching, and it's really prevalent in the coaching industry. They naturally hit a wall at some point in the coaching relationship with their clients because the client wants to reach a goal, but their subconscious mind's inner blueprint isn't in alignment with their conscious desire, and it isn't working out. To compensate for this, the coach tends to blame or shame the clients for their lack of success, drive, or even their vibrational state, as in the case of manifestation coaching. These coaches focus on a more aggressive approach of eliminating excuses, breaking through limitations, or attracting what you want. You may hear them use phrases like, "You're being resistive," or "You're not being fully responsible for the results you want to create," or "You're making excuses," or "You aren't vibrating high enough," or "Get rid of your head trash," or "You just aren't ready," or "You're playing small." This works for some people, but the results are usually short-lived. Often clients attain the result, but it doesn't bring them genuine happiness because it's not what they really want deep down. For many people, being shamed simply makes them feel bad about themselves and doesn't help. This approach can lead the client to a lack of self-compassion, and they can push themselves too hard to achieve the result the coach wants, just to win their approval or to get them off their back. And of course, this type of gym coaching can be quite subtle too, done under the guise of being loving and kind. But at its core, it's judgment, blame, and shame. There's a missed opportunity for real growth. For example, if someone was making excuses, there's a reason they made that excuse. It's a coping mechanism on some level. Making excuses may have served them well in different circumstances, even if now it's getting in the way of progress. When you identify the subconscious cause of an excuse, you can quickly pivot and move in the direction you want. But without knowing why someone would make an excuse and shaming them for it, it's more like the coach has now become the junior high bully, even if they're being nice when they're saying it. Now, let's turn our attention to EFT. It's similar to direct suggestion in that you're trying to overwrite the client's ingrained beliefs with suggestions that the subconscious is likely to reject. The statements are focused on self-acceptance and love in relation to the problem you're experiencing. On its surface, this seems fine, but many people have an inner blueprint that is in direct opposition to genuine self-acceptance, so the subconscious mind rejects it. It may seem fine that the practitioner suggests that you love yourself, but your subconscious mind has its own definition of love. Until you know what that is, you should stay away from this because it's like walking a tightrope. This is because, on a conscious level, you may have defined love for yourself. But if you've experienced any kind of trauma, and most people have, your subconscious mind likely has a different definition stemming from your past and your inner child's perceptions. This prefabricated definition of love can carry with it small dysfunctions that affect how you treat yourself. I do think there's some benefit to EFT tapping because it helps you focus inward, which can help you have more awareness about what you're thinking and feeling. Although people certainly have been helped by it, for the reasons I've mentioned, it's my opinion that EFT has fewer benefits than other practices. Next, let's look at energy healing. With energy healing, the energy of the problem can be addressed, but the client misses out on the opportunity to learn how to help themselves, and it doesn't access the subconscious mind. Many highly sensitive people worry about being affected by or absorbing negative energy, so they turn to energy healing techniques to help with this. What I found is that when you clear unhelpful subconscious beliefs through hypnosis, negative energy naturally dissipates. With NLP, coaching, EFT, energy healing, and therapy, you are stuck at the mindset level. As a result of all these challenges, the client has to keep going back over and over again for support. That's fine if you like having support, but most of my clients have used these practices and are frustrated by the time they reach out to work with a hypnotist. Many of them have told me that they've been in therapy for years, sometimes up to 20 years, and the therapist and the client have hit a brick wall. It's no one's fault. It's just a natural limitation they run up against because their subconscious mind isn't being accessed effectively. That's why it can be beneficial to add hypnotherapy as an additional support to therapy, especially if a person already benefits from traditional therapy. Next is EMDR, which stands for Eye Movement Desensitization and Reprocessing. It is more effective, but still shallow. With EMDR and other therapies like it, you're focusing your attention. Remember what the definition of hypnosis is? It's a state of focused attention. It's my opinion that therapies used today put a spin on how the attention is focused. It seems like it's something fancy happening in your brain, but its foundation is still focusing your attention. Bruce Eimer, who's a psychologist, holds a PhD in educational psychology, and is also a hypnotherapist, stated in his book, The Art of Hypnotic Regression Therapy, and I quote, Francine Shapiro developed her own brand of waking hypnosis. For those of you that may not know, Francine Shapiro is the creator of EMDR. I feel that line of thought crosses over to other practices like brain spotting. I'm not a licensed therapist, but I agree with Bruce Eimer that practices like EMDR are waking hypnosis, and in my opinion, the two practices overlap significantly in method. These types of practices are beginning to access the subconscious mind and feelings, and they are doing it in a systemized way to protect the patients. They are helping their patients begin to release emotions or desensitize themselves from the things that are bothering them. But at the end of the day, no matter what the therapy is, your brain works how it works, meaning you have a conscious mind and the world beyond it that holds your deepest ingrained beliefs and behaviors. It's just the way it works. With hypnosis, we can go much deeper, even though these practices are a step in the right direction. And last, let's cover psychiatric treatment. It's an important step to take because you're addressing any physical problems that may be causing your mental and emotional unrest. There's also a very good treatment called transcranial magnetic stimulation that has major benefits in my experience. It's been approved by the FDA for major depressive disorder and obsessive compulsive disorder, and it helps with other issues as well. And as a side note, if you or your clients happen to be on medications to help, that's okay too. Many people beat themselves up for taking medication, but they can be useful and help you get through challenging times in your life. So now that we've covered the different types of hypnotherapy techniques used by hypnotists, and the different avenues your clients will usually have tried before reaching out to you, let's identify what you can charge per session based on your experience. If you're a brand new hypnotherapist with a certification in hand, and you've done at least 15 practice sessions, you can and should charge $200 per session for direct suggestion hypnotherapy. Next, if you're a hypnotherapist that's done a lot of direct suggestion sessions, and you're beginning to regress your clients to explore the root causes of their issues, you should be charging more. Or if you've been certified in regression, but you're still new at it, or you're focusing on feel-good regression, or you're very formulaic with your regression techniques as you learn, you should be charging $200 to $400 per session. Now, if you're an experienced hypnotherapist and you've got a solid grasp with your regression sessions, including spiritual hypnotherapy, and you've done lots of regression sessions with your clients for all the normal things like stopping smoking, weight loss, relationship problems, fears, phobias, self-esteem, setting healthy boundaries, communication, career improvement, life transitions, other ordinary issues, or spiritual issues or desires, you should charge between $400 and $500 per session. And last, if you're a hypnotherapist that's worked with the most challenging of client issues with advanced regression techniques, with the ability to help your clients process intense emotions and reframe deeply ingrained, rigid beliefs, and you know how to move a client through or help with things like sexual abuse, including rape, physical abuse, emotional abuse, or verbal abuse, addictions, being a victim of a crime, sometimes including the murder of a loved one, PTSD and other traumas, terminal illness, loss of a loved one, intractable situations like chronic illness, panic attacks, intrusive thoughts, navigating no contact with abusive or toxic people or family, unusual or strange issues, mental health challenges, or deeper spiritual issues or problems, then you should be charging between $500 and $1,000 per session. By the way, it's always important to adopt an interdisciplinary approach and have all the client support system in place, including therapists and medical professionals, when you're dealing with serious health or mental health issues. So these are the ranges of prices the industry needs to be elevated to as commonplace. And when you create programs that systematically get your clients results, you can charge between $2,500 to $25,000 per client, depending on the length of time and the level of support you offer. And you've got the results, experience, and extensive training behind you. Now, many hypnotherapists may feel weird about charging a lot of money for their services. I know I did. I thought, who am I to charge this much money? And I worried my clients would think I was selfish. Basically, I wasn't confident at all at first, until I realized I was the less expensive choice in certain circumstances. For example, a divorce will cost about $10,000 for legal fees and lost equity for the sale of a house and assets, so that could easily add up to hundreds of thousands of dollars. Another example is a woman who's got panic attacks. She's routinely losing money as an entrepreneur because she's not able to work effectively. The revenue she's losing could be as much as $50,000 per year. Another example is a person who's got an eating disorder. Many times people will pay privately for rehab, and this is easily a $40,000 fee with a lower success rate for a full recovery. And typically the person will need to go to rehab more than once. Another example is saving someone from years of therapy for their issue. On average, a person is in therapy for over 3 years, and they see their therapist once per week, typically much longer for challenging issues. So at 3 years, at a $50 copay, that's $7,800. At 3 years for a $100 copay, that's $15,600. At 3 years, at $200 private pay, well, that's $31,200. So in cases like these, you'll be the less expensive alternative. And when you create programs, you can help your clients far beyond the initial problem you help them solve. Now, you may be thinking, why wouldn't I just want to solve their problem in a single session? Let's unpack this. The more subtle and advanced your techniques become, the more your client's subconscious mind will let both of you know that there's more work to do. And by the time a person reaches out to a hypnotherapist for help, you are typically their last hope, and there's typically a lot on the line. They usually will have tried a bunch of other things without success for whatever the reason. And while their challenge will be greatly alleviated or gone in 1 to 3 sessions, there's so much more work that can be done. And if you stop there, you'll do them a disservice because you can help them far beyond the work you already did. That's because their subconscious mind and body want to bring to the surface of their mind other things to be expressed and reframed. You'll get to help them with all the other stuff that's been bottled up inside of them that they may not be consciously aware of, and you'll help them become the best version of themselves. You can also help them create boundaries and balance with their external world. because without that, they may wind up in a similar situation. And working with them longer allows you to teach them how to help themselves, and you'll be there to coach them when they struggle. It becomes a win-win for both of you. Let's pause here for a moment. I hope it's clear to you right now just how valuable your services are, no matter what stage of growth you're in as a hypnotherapist. And when you raise your prices, many of your clients will value your services more. When I was first starting out, I wasn't charging much at all. I was working with a client at a really low price, and I realized I had to raise my prices if I wanted to pay my bills and buy groceries. The strangest thing happened. The exact same client I had been working with suddenly started getting better results. It was because the increase in my session fee registered in his subconscious as being more valuable. I knew this because I was doing the exact same type of work and nothing had changed. So I learned an important lesson about how higher fees can translate to an increased perception of value to the client. One of my favorite words is why, and I ask myself why many times. Why am I doing something, and why am I not doing something? Why aren't you charging more? Is it because you were like me, and you just fell in line with what the industry standard is? Or maybe you wrestle with imposter syndrome, or even feel guilty or selfish at the thought of charging a healthy fee for services that will probably save your clients money or their sanity in the long run. So your action step right now is to figure out how much you feel comfortable charging. To do this, you can figure out the lowest you can see yourself charging for your services and the highest. Then meet in the middle for a price that will actually come out of your mouth. Moving along, you need to understand that your business needs to be treated like you'd treat a premium client. In fact, I would argue that your business is your most important client, and it should always come first. The way you can put it first is by understanding that you are not a hypnotherapist first, but you are a sales and marketing person first. You are not in the hypnotherapy game, you are in the sales and marketing game, and hypnotherapy is how you help your clients. That's the ugly truth of your business, and many hypnotherapists try to avoid these two things in their business above all else. Or they focus on all the wrong marketing activities that only serve to distract you from the necessary work your business demands. When you think of your business as your best client, if you neglect it, you may get a bad review that shows up as major income fluctuations or low bank account balances. It's that important. And here's something else to consider. What no one tells you is that business is hard. In fact, it's really hard. But when you have the right roadmap in front of you, it gets a lot easier. Now, before we move on to understanding the foundation for heading in the right direction to become a high-end hypnotherapist, you need to understand how to make money in any business. In order to make money in any business, you need to first understand how to make money, period. You have to have that fundamental understanding first and foremost. A lot of people complicate making money in business, and they look to a million different steps to make this happen. But the key to making money in any business is simple, and there's only 2 steps that you're ever taking when you make money in your business. And that's creating an offer and driving traffic to it. And when you understand this, it allows you to inject cash into your business. You have to have something to offer people to buy, and you have to have people to sell it to. So by presenting your offers to the right audience, nurturing those prospects, converting them into paying clients, and delivering outstanding hypnotherapy services, you set yourself up for success. But what often happens is that confusion sets in because there are different types of traffic and different types of offers that are free and paid. So you might create a free hypnosis recording and promote it on Facebook to get people on your email list. That's a free offer and one traffic source. Or you may have a low-priced course that you promote to your email list. That's a paid offer and another traffic source you're promoting your offer to. The challenge most people have is focusing on too many things without clarity. They build funnels, create gifts, work on courses, create trainings, and create endless content without a clear goal in mind. So when you understand that there are different types of offers and different types of traffic, you'll increase the likelihood of getting someone to take the desired action. Now, let's move on and learn about your business foundation or model. There are 5 core components that form the backbone of any successful venture. These components apply to all businesses, including hypnotherapy businesses. The first component is growing your traffic. It's all about attracting a steady stream of potential clients to your hypnotherapy business. It's all about doing the right things to reach your target audience and draw them towards your services. The next component is nurturing your traffic. Once you've attracted potential clients to your hypnotherapy business, the next step is nurturing those relationships. This involves building a connection, establishing trust, and building value to your prospects. Through personalized communication, content creation, and relationship building efforts, you can build strong connections that lead to long-term relationships. Next is monetizing your traffic. The third component focuses on converting your potential clients into paying clients. This step involves developing compelling offers and letting them know about the value you provide through your hypnotherapy services. Next is delivering your services. It's the fourth component, and it revolves around the successful delivery of your hypnotherapy services. This entails meeting client expectations, providing high-quality work, and ensuring a seamless and professional experience throughout the process. By doing a good job and exceeding client expectations, you build a reputation for reliability and excellence in the industry. The last component is operating your business. It's how you run your hypnotherapy business. It's about handling tasks, organizing workflows, and creating systems to outsource efficiently. When you do this, everything runs smoothly, you become more productive, and your business can scale. Are you staying with me here so far? Let's break it down a little bit. It's kind of like driving a car. Picture this, you're behind the wheel, cruising down the road, and there are a bunch of things you need to take care of in order to keep your ride smooth. Running your hypnotherapy business is pretty similar. Think of your business as the car itself. Just like a car has different parts working together, your business has various components that need attention too. You've got administrative tasks, workflow processes, and standard operating procedures to manage. It's like making sure the engine of your car is running smoothly and efficiently. You want it to perform at its best. And those administrative tasks and procedures, they're like the road signs and rules for your business. They keep things organized and guide you on the right path. Just like you follow traffic rules on the road, you need to establish good practices in your business. By streamlining your operations and implementing those practices, you're basically keeping your business running smoothly, just like driving a car with a well-tuned engine and sticking to the rules of the road. It's all about boosting productivity, ensuring things run seamlessly, and setting yourself up for long-term growth, success, and leverage. It's like having a comfortable and enjoyable ride. Just like taking care of all the necessary components while driving a car, running a successful hypnotherapy business involves managing various aspects to keep things rolling smoothly for a nice, long ride. Now that we've covered the components of a business foundation, let's look at some vital pillars you need in order to position yourself to charge premium prices. The first pillar you need to focus on is identifying a niche. Now, many hypnotherapists are generalists because that's what they were taught to do, or they follow what all the other hypnotherapists are doing. And if you're new or newer, I actually recommend being a generalist for a time. This is because you'll gain a lot of experience and you'll quickly understand what problems you enjoy working with and the ones you don't want to work with. You'll also get to know the kinds of clients and personality types you work best with. And once you've been in the trenches, then it's time to choose a niche. This is a real growth opportunity for many of you because hypnotherapists usually feel they want to help everyone. And I've been there myself, but you have skills that are suited best for your ideal clients and the problems they face. For me, it's working with severe trauma, anxiety, and all the weird things. And you'll have something that you excel at as well. Now, you may be thinking that hypnotherapy works best regardless of the issue, and I hear you. It's an incredible tool, but we all excel in certain areas. Exploring what this is for you is a clue to the direction to take. There's something important to consider, though. The niche you choose and the problem they have needs to be urgent. They need to be at a place in their journey where they're highly motivated to solve their problem, and they need to have the purchasing power to afford your premium rates. And your marketing message across the internet and on your website needs to speak directly to this person at the right point in their journey where they're ready to reach out for help. This will help position you as an authority in the eyes of your potential client, because you'll be speaking directly to them about their problem and they'll feel like you're in their head with them. You may be thinking that you'll lose business if you do this, but what happens is you gain higher quality clients who are willing to invest in their success. By the way, no one really cares about hypnotherapy. So when you write your content or copy, talk about the problem your client is experiencing and the result they'll get once they work with you, and not so much about hypnotherapy. And no one really cares about your certifications. I've done well over 1,500 sessions, and I think I've had 2 or 3 people ask me about my training. So if you're feeling like you can't move forward because you don't have the right certification, your clients probably won't care. But remember, you do always need to be improving your skills. The second pillar is your signature system. A signature system is the steps you consistently take to help your client go from point A to point B. You need to identify these steps to ensure you're moving your client along so they'll have a very high likelihood of achieving their goal. The third pillar is your offer. Your offer is very important because it will act like a vehicle that gets your clients what they want. There's 4 components to a good offer. Momentum. That's some sort of a quick win or something that helps them get into action quickly. Then there's your services, what you do with them or for them. Examples are support in between sessions, live retreats, one-on-one work, Facebook group access, or things like this. The next component is content. That could be video or audio training, workbooks, step-by-step instructions, or supporting audios like affirmations, meditations, or hypnosis recordings. And the last component is bonuses. That could be more services or content, done-for-you services, guest expert bonuses, a physical gift, or live tickets to a mastermind or retreat. And you can have additional bonuses depending on when someone signs up to add urgency. The most important thing is that your offer is congruent and ideally priced at a premium. It needs to be what the potential client needs and wants to buy. By the way, your content is pulled from your signature system and your offer. That way, your potential clients will already be believers in the way you work and your methodology. The fourth pillar is your sales and marketing system. I prefer direct outreach and organic content marketing. I know a lot of hypnotherapists lean on referrals, but they aren't predictable. And your referral situation can change. One of my main people that sent me referrals sadly passed away. So you want to have as much control in your business as possible. And that's why I'm a fan of direct outreach in an introvert-friendly way that isn't slimy. And you'll need to understand the sales process and how to conduct a discovery call. Sales calls are magical, and that's where you'll grow as a person and you can serve your potential client at the highest level. I've actually created a high-level overview of the sales call process, and you can get access to it when you go to relaxedmindandbody.com, and is all spelled out, A-N-D. So that's, again, relaxedmindandbody.com, and then you'll click on the Help for Hypnotherapists navigation tab at the top of the website and navigate down the page. There are other components to your business and to positioning yourself as an authority in the marketplace, but these pillars will get you headed in the right direction. The fifth pillar is your brand. Your brand is not just your website, logo, graphics, and colors. Your brand consists of who you're marketing to, or your niche, your messaging to your niche, your brand personality, the visual elements that support that message, and who you associate with publicly and professionally for shared goodwill and trust of their audience and yours. For example, if someone has an established brand with a large audience of your ideal clients, and they promote your services to them, all the goodwill and trust they've established with their audience is transferred over to you. In order to have a clear brand message, you'll need to choose a niche, and there needs to be enough work in the niche to support your decision. To uncover your brand personality, you simply need to bring out more of who you really are and what makes you happy. For myself, I tend to be more lighthearted and playful, so I brought those elements into my brand. And I also love things I grew up with, like rotary phones, so I brought those visual elements into my brand. So you can list out your characteristics, traits, and interests to uncover your brand identity. Your visual branding is the last part in your branding process, but it's the part most people start with. As you learned, you need to first find your niche to determine your messaging, as well as uncover your brand personality. Then you'll choose your brand colors and create your graphics. The sixth pillar is your content. It's vital to create compelling content, including a branded newsletter, and establish a strong online presence through your website. These avenues allow you to showcase your unique voice, expertise, and personality in a way that captivates potential clients. The seventh pillar is your online presence. You need to be positioned as an authority in the eyes of your potential client online. This includes social media platforms, testimonials on directories, and your website. Your website needs to do much more than act as an online business card or brochure. It needs to have a purpose, and it needs to be intentional when you charge premium prices. The main goal of your website is to direct your potential client to a discovery call. And all of your content should be created to either attract, nurture, or convert your client to book a discovery call with you. Now, I really feel that I need to call attention to the fact that most hypnotherapy websites need to be current. I'm not sure why, but we all somehow got stuck in the past with our website design. I used to have a really ugly website with my head floating at the top of the page. My website colors were crazy, and I think I had like 5 different fonts. And while it still made me a lot of money because it was set up to promote discovery calls, it wasn't doing me any favors. So your design needs to be updated. And you'll need more than a one-page website. You need a home page, an About Me page, a Contact Me page, a testimonials page, and ideally a blog. And all your copy on your website needs to speak to your client's problem, and you need to help them see that they can get what they want when they work with you. To recap, here's what we've covered today: the different hypnotherapy techniques that we use to help our clients, the different practices your potential client will have tried by the time they reach out to you for help, that you always need to be improving your hypnotherapy skills, even if you're a veteran, how to elevate the industry by charging more for your hypnotherapy sessions, even if you're new, how to make money in any business, the 7 pillars you need that will help you be perceived as an authority in the eyes of your client so you can become a high-end hypnotherapist, the components to your business foundation, the components that you need to have when you create an offer, that you're a sales and marketing person first and a hypnotherapist second. That there's a difference between starting your business, growing your business, and scaling your business. And that charging premium prices is a great way to scale your business, and it gives you more money and freedom. And here's a bonus insight. The more expensive a problem you solve, the more a client will typically pay for solutions to that problem at the right time in their journey. Many of the things I've shared with you today have come hard-won. I've invested about $100,000 into my business to get where I am now. That may seem expensive, but considering it costs around $2 million to have a McDonald's franchise, that's very little spend for all the gains I've made financially or otherwise. And the McDonald's franchise owners only make about $80,000 to $150,000 per year with all that responsibility and without even owning the land. That's what makes a hypnotherapy business so great. You can achieve a healthy income at around a 90% profit margin before taxes because your overhead is so low, and you will usually only need the help of one virtual assistant. So if you want to make, for example, $200,000 per year, you'll build your offers out at a price that helps you meet your financial goal. And you'll structure your offers for maximum client results and for more space in your calendar. But here's what might hold you back. You may not believe it's possible for you to charge more. This is something you can work on to help your subconscious mind see new ways of doing business and helping your clients. You may be coupling your self-worth with the value of your services or packages, which keeps you from taking action because of inner conflict. You may be running your business on a Swiss cheese business model that's full of holes. This can make it very difficult to move forward. You may not be taking growing your business very seriously. You may not have a sales and marketing system in place, and you may need to improve your sales call skills. You may seem exactly the same as all the other hypnotherapists out there, and you find that the client price shops you. You may not be consistent with your marketing efforts. Well, that's what I have to share with you today, and here's something to keep in mind. You won't be able to sell premium services if you don't offer them. And you can always have an offer that's less of an investment to offer if your potential client isn't in a place to invest in your premium offer. I really, really love hypnosis, and I'm determined to elevate the industry to reflect the massive transformation we bring to our clients. I have programs to help you along in your journey, no matter if you are newer or a seasoned veteran, or everything in between. No matter what, I think it's helpful to work towards charging premium pricing, and at the very least, raise your prices up right now to elevate the industry. And if it's the right time in your career to become a high-end hypnotherapist and charge premium prices ranging from $2,500 on up to $25,000, I have a special program for you. If you'd like, you can schedule a free chat with me to learn more about my programs and how I can help. This is a no-pressure chat where we'll systematically explore what you're experiencing with your business now, and I'll help you get really clear on what you want. In addition to sharing more about how I can help you through my services, one of my goals during the call, whether you sign up for my programs or not, is to help you identify where you can charge more right now and where you might be losing money. If this is something that interests you, I'd love to connect. Go to relaxedmindandbody.com and click on the Help for Hypnotherapists tab at the top of the page to schedule your free chat. When you scroll down, you'll see a scheduling button for my high-end hypnotherapist program or my Business Essentials program. Or if you have general questions for me, just use the chat function on my site and I'll be happy to get back with you. Thanks for spending time with me today, and I'll talk with you soon.